Yeah.
They're trying to move some pieces around. They're trying to get behind closed doors and come up with a strategy. That's a racial crime scene.
Right.
So therefore, it's our responsibility to come in, look at the current state, use a common sense approach of, I know what you're telling me, but what I see don't match what you're telling me.
Right.
So let's find the middle ground. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, with regards to the situation with Mr. Arbery, the story as the American public understands it is that a young black man was jogging through a suburban neighborhood, and that some retired individuals saw him and suspected him of being the same individual that had come through the neighborhood repeatedly and was taking things, and they thought that they could take it upon themselves. This is their story now, to apprehend him and perform a citizen's arrest. And in the process of doing that, a struggle ensued and a young man died.
Right.
That sounds like a typical made-up-on-the-spot excuse that law enforcement would put together when the other individual is not around to tell their side of the story.
Right.
Smelled fishy from the gate. Now, for those of you all who don't know, I have had my own experience with that area as a victim. Back in the early 90s, I was in the military. I was on my way to Jacksonville, Florida, from Fort Bragg, North Carolina. I had never been that far south before. Somebody warned me. They said, once you get south of Savannah, watch your back. That's one of the last vestiges of the good old boy. Network, lynch you on the spot, don't care, be careful down there. And I drove down there and I got pulled over right south of Savannah by one of the good old boys who accused me of something I hadn't done. I was military at the time, active duty, so I'm not going to break no rules. I'm not that stupid. They took me to a little jail in the town of Hinesville, and on my ticket it said I was in Hinesville committing a crime. I was on Interstate 95, minding my own business. Like, they done wrote up a whole case, but what they didn't know was who they had pulled over. I was attached to the chief of staff of Fort Bragg. So I made one phone call, and every phone call in the joint started ringing, and they realized, I'm not one of your local yokels. So this is not going to work. But I learned the flavor of racism that exists. There are different flavors of racism. People need to understand that just because they smile in your face and shake your hand and say, hey, Chuck, glad to have you here, my friend, that's one approach. That's a passive approach. But there are some folks who just don't want things to be different. So they function under that same mentality. You still a boy, you still a nigga, you still a thief. You're not even a human being yet. Civil Rights Act didn't change nothing. I see you as property. You just got some rights now. We like my dog has rights. You got rights too. So you got to know how to deal with the right type of racism. You got to have the right type of response. And anybody who's over the age of 35 or 40 knows where to go in this country and where not to go when you this color, because you're not going to stand a chance. No matter how many rights and laws is on the books, you're in their backyard. I say that to say this. When we went down to Brunswick, because a lot of folks who don't know Georgia, they think Atlanta represents all of Georgia. They think all of it of Georgia is Atlanta. You know, the rappers, the reality shows, they think that, okay, we're not having it. But what they didn't realize is where this happens is all the way down on the coast, right on the border of Florida and Georgia, where it's swampland, gator land. You know what I'm saying? There ain't a whole lot out there. So when I first heard the story, I said, well, that's kind of interesting. Why would a brother be running around down there unless things have really changed? Maybe I'm old school. Maybe I need to, maybe I need to get my act together. But as the story began to unfold, we started looking at empirical information, and folks were saying, look at the satellite scans of the area. So we did. We did a satellite scan of the area, and it didn't make sense. This area is right on the water, which means you got houses, and then you got water. Then you got the main road. So this is a cul-de-sac. So I'm thinking, why would he run into a cul-de-sac? Okay, maybe I can't see it from here. We got to go check this out. Okay? So that's the first thing, was to actually visually visit the place to see if the story matched. Does not. Let me help y'all out. The first place that we went to visit was the home where Mr. Arbery was alleged to have broken into. Okay? When we got, if you can imagine this, when you come off of the interstate, they got an AJ's truck stop. You know, it's a regular spot. It's your last chance to gas up, get your food, all of that before you get into the nothing of Florida.
Right.
So they got a truck stop, they got food, they got hotels. You know, everything you find around a major stop on the interstate. Other than that, there's nothing out there. Nothing.
Right.
Flat land, water. I'm like, okay, but there's nothing out here. I don't even see houses out here. But if you go about a mile off of the interstate, there is one road that turns into this cul-de-sac. One way in, one way out.
Right.
But once you get into the cul-de-sac, they got all these little streets back there. But there's still only one way in and one way out. Meaning if you get in there, you can run around all day.
Right.
You'll never get out.
Right.
All right. So that was the first thing that we noticed. The second thing we noticed was if this brother was jogging, where was he jogging from? I'm like you. I said, well, maybe he was running cross country. Because cross country, you choose great distances, right? Mm-hmm. But we could never get a determination of, one, where he came from. Mm-hmm. Where was he running from? How did he get there?
Right.
Did he have a car that he dropped off? Because when I say, Chuck, when I say out there, bro, out there.
Yeah.
Sundown town.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Got me?
Yeah.
This ain't the place you want to be
right.
when it get dark. We could tell.
Mm-hmm.
These are all retired, old white folks. Want no young girls, young boys running around. Want no young. It's all old folks. Mm-hmm. They done carved out a little bit of land down there. They done built them their own little private heaven.
Right.
They don't want to be bothered. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we like, okay. So we go into the neighborhood, and we notice that the neighborhood has two sides to it. And you know what I'm about to say. Mm-hmm. The first half of the neighborhood looked like those homes were built in the 60s. They were nice, but they're the old school nice.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where Mr. McMichael lived.
Right.
That's where the other gentleman, the one that we went to his house and he wasn't home, where he was hiding there. We don't know. We'll talk about that in a minute. But we paid him a visit. But his house was in the moving on up side.
Right.
But if you went down to where they killed Mr. Arbery, that spot where he was laying in the street is the border between the halves, or got a little bit, pardon my language, and the motherfuckers were bred, bruh. The houses right around the corner, oh my God, we were like, oh, and they all flying Trump flags. I've never seen a Donald Trump flag waving in the wind. Big Donald Trump Pence 2020. Oh, this Trump town.
Yeah.
You get where we're going now? Now we're going, I wouldn't be back here, no way.
Right, right.
But these folks had bread.
Right.
The house that Mr. Arbery was accused of whatever he was doing was on the have-not side, but someone was renovating it.
Right.
They were renovating it. Okay. Follow me. So we're going, okay, this is where he was alleged to have gone in. So you want me to believe he came down this empty highway out of the middle of nowhere, turned into this cul-de-sac that you had to know was there.
Right.
Ran in, and I'm thinking you run in and you run around a circle. It's not built like that. It's a subdivision.
Right.
You got to turn some corners and right. He did all of that to get to this house.
Yeah.
Okay. The media would have you believe that Mr. McMichael lived next door and observed some fishy going on.
Yeah.
So he made the call. That's what blew our minds. Big shout out to my girl Char Bates from Cop Watch, BET. She was with us. She was actually doing the narration for us. But we look at this house. So we look at the house next door and say, well, is that Mr. Michael's house?
Right.
His house is way down the street on the other side of the block.
Right, right.
So we go, wow, he couldn't have seen nothing down here.
Yeah.
So what do? We go down to his house. The truck that he killed that boy in is still parked in the driveway.
Right.
I have video I haven't released yet. I walked up. I went. I paid him a visit. I wanted to talk to the dude. I wanted to talk to anybody. I came to talk. Bro.
Right.
We just want to have a couple of words with you. Express our sentiments on behalf of the black community.
Right.
The truck was there like my man be right back.
Right.
There was no yellow tape. It wasn't marked as
right.
Like he'd be back.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
But there's no way you could have seen what was going on down there at that other house.
Yeah.
So now I'm going, okay, got that part. But just for sake of this conversation, I'm going to say that well, maybe he did see my next question is, okay, for shits and grins, let's just say he happened to be out at the mailbox, even though he didn't have one. I made up just to give him an excuse for being in the street.
Right.
He was in the street, I don't know, going to ball for the dog. I don't know.
Right.
But there's no way he could have seen that. But let's just say, for the sake of the conversation, my young man does exit the house and runs past this man's house.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking based on what the media has told us and what we've seen on the video.
Right.
However, there's a problem. This street has houses all up and down it, all the way to the corner. But that's not what's in the video.
Right.
In the video, he's running down the street and there's woods or trees on each side, you know, and he's at this intersection. So my mind goes, well, where the shooting happen at? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This ain't the street he was on.
Right.
This is the street my man live on.
Right.
So we all started asking, well, because we're doing our forensics now. We're looking at the way the place is laid out.
Yeah.
Okay? And so we say, okay, let's walk over to where my man died, which is all the way at the end of the block down there. But as we're approaching it, that's not the angle on the video.
Right. Right.
So we go down to the spot where Mr. Arbery, rest in peace, passed, and we're looking at it. And if this is the street we just came up, he came from that way.
Gotcha.
So now I'm looking up the street and I'm going, he came from down there this way. So I walked down and turned myself around to orientate myself to what y'all see. And I said, how the hell did he get from the house that he was so-called looking at, which is now a block over,
right,
and up the street, to this man chasing him who lives a block over that way, to loop him around, to run him back toward the guy's house? Because remember, you can't get out the cul-de-sac. How did that happen? Well, let's add one more piece for you, Chuck. The guy that took the video.
Right.
Let's go to his house. So, we all happily went to his house. I'm not sure who was in the house because they closed all the windows up when they seen all these armed brothers coming up, looking in the windows and knocking on the doors and ringing the doorbell and blowing the horn and trying to come down the chimney, slide under the garage door. Or we coming in to see you. Yeah. We just want to express our sentiments from the black community. That house was up the street and 3 blocks the other way. There's no way he could have even have known what was going on. Right. For him to get in his car, drive, because it's a cul-de-sac, drive through the web and come around and behind, unless they were coordinating by phone. Right. And they trapped him. Yeah. Now, for everybody who's listening to my voice that knows nothing about gator hunting, who knows nothing about hunting in the swamps, this is how it's done. It takes 3 people. You have one person who's the driver, and he's the shooter. Right. You got another guy who's in the back on the flatbed. He's the spotter. He's going to tell you where the prey is at. And then you got another guy who follows him in case the prey goes the other way. Right. That's called a hunting triage. That's what they did to him. So we go. So first thing is y'all lying because there's no way he could have known. There's no way that you saw him from the house. Right. And on top of that, it meant he didn't just run up the street. My man had to cut through somebody's yard. Right. To get on the other street. I mean, y'all was chasing him. There's more to this story. Right. Okay. Now let me give you the last piece. Of course, you've seen this by now. But what we did realize is these good old folks were so unaccustomed to seeing melanated people in their neighborhood that the moment we pulled up, even though people was bringing flowers and balloons and sentiments, the moment we pulled up, since we didn't have no flowers, we didn't have no balloons, we didn't have a Bible, we had guns, and we had bulletproof vests, and we looked like we were in Iraq or Afghanistan because all of us are ex-military. Every last one of us is ex-military. We are not making this up. This is what we do. Right. They called the police immediately. Right. And I would say the police were there within, I would say 2 minutes. Okay. I would have thought there would have been a police presence there in the neighborhood because of the media attention, and the neighborhood was completely empty when we got there. Like a regular day, like when nothing popping. Right. Like this was not a big deal. Right. When the police came, they came in the same way we did. They came down the same street, so there's only one way in. Right. I'm gonna be honest with you, my brother, but when Billy Bob and the good old boys, saw what was down the street.
Mm-hmm.
That's another conversation. They would not engage us. They wouldn't even come. Matter of fact, the superiors came out, the police chief came out, the head of the criminal interdiction team came out, all of these big dogs came out, and they pulled their boys out of there.
Mm-hmm.
They said, y'all not going to win with these guys.
Right.
The way we blocked off the streets.
Right.
They're not coming down here, and we're in combat position. We ain't breaking no laws. Y'all do it all the time.
Yeah.
Okay? But this is a black militia now, while Shar and her people are doing their journalist shit.
Yep.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But what I noticed was I can see how the boy got in trouble. Because the white lady who watched us get out our car, she jumped on her phone immediately.
Right.
They talk to each other.
Yeah.
If someone enters the neighborhood.
Right.
I believe, and all from what I've been able to ascertain, is that somebody saw him going to the house, maybe take a piss break, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you run, you know how we do. We got to find somewhere to go. That might be his spot.
Yeah.
Okay, don't nobody live there. So I'm going to run up in there and do my thing, and I'm gone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's the first theory. And there was the lady across the street that saw us, the same one that called the cops on us, call the cop or call her people.
Right.
Okay. So that was the first piece. So the logistics didn't line up. So we know they're lying.
Yeah.
The second thing is, this is one of these small towns where nepotism has infected the government to the point where everybody who's in a position of authority is related to somebody.
Yep.
My brother hired your sister who married to my cousin, you know, that type shit.
Yep.
And they all white.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the kicker. While we were in the neighborhood trying to figure out what happened, and to pay a visit to, you know, them folks, one of the residents who wasn't a part of all of this, white lady,
Yeah.
she came outside and came up to us. She had no fear. She said, I'm so glad y'all here. Because I'm sick of these motherfuckers. And she took out her phone. She said, let me show y'all something. And she showed us. She said, all of them are members of the same Klan lodge. She showed us.
Yeah.
She showed us the proof. She said, also, she said, not only are they all members of the same Klan lodge, they all hunt together. Make a long story short, they have a relationship.
Right.
They're all members of the same Klan unit. Okay? And to prove it, while we were there, the Klan showed up.
Oh, yes. I saw that on social.
Let me tell you what's funny about the Klan down south, because they don't hide. The brothers pulled up in a burgundy Grand Torino with a sticker that said the Grand Knights of the Ku Klux Klan. So they had to come out and see these boys. They had to come see us. But when they saw us, they too stopped at a certain distance.
Right.
Turned around and drove away. Again, this is a sundown town.
Right.
We already know what they're saying. Let them be here after the sun go down. So we already know that. All right, so I give you that piece first so you can orientate yourself to the media is trying to spin this thing as they always do. And the narrative that's been made about this boy, he was running up the street and they just went up there to talk to him. No, they chased him through that neighborhood. He cut through yards trying to get away.
Yeah.
He was trying to get out. He might have gotten disorientated, and they eventually trapped him in. The guy who's coming up from behind, he was in on that shit. He was to stop him from getting away.
Right.
Okay? And my man had already been running, and I can imagine he saw the shotgun. I ain't gonna let you shoot me in the back.
Yeah.
So we do what we do. That's, come on.
Right.
All right. Okay, that's the first piece. It doesn't answer the question for us, though, and this is between me, this is between me and the black folk. Bruh, what you doing over here?
Yeah.
There is nothing over here that screams friendliness to African Americans.
Yeah.
You got Trump flags flying. I know this didn't exist before we got there, Chuck, but every house had a do not trespass sign on it when we pulled up. It looked like somebody came down and just put up signs. And they all said, as long as you don't step on their property, y'all ain't gonna have no problems. You get what I'm saying? They knew we was coming. But something ain't right about this story, and we figured we need to have a conversation with the residents in Brunswick. Not these folks, regular folks. So as you know, I had put out a call for folks to come out. We're gonna rep for my man, but we're gonna have some talks. We want to know the temperature down here. We know this is not an isolated incident. This is one that got caught on tape.
Yeah.
And just talking to the good folks down there, and it's sad when we have scary Negroes, as I call them, but I understand they feel, and a lot of them said to me, we down here by ourselves. Ain't nobody out here to help us. We still, okay, that problem is finished. We here. We know where you at now, got us now. Relax. What do you need? You see what I'm saying? What you up against?
Mm-hmm.
Now you see all these white folks jumping ship now, quitting jobs, getting missing, dying of heart attacks, catching COVID, whatever they can do to get out of having to answer for this hot potato that they don't throw around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Somebody even told me, they say the real reason that he was over there was that he was dating somebody and that they didn't like that.
Right.
Right. And then when they said that, I said, now that would make perfect sense. That's why he would be out here in the middle of goddamn nowhere.
Right.
Okay? Or, as you and I said, the brother was just a cross-distance runner, and this was a spot that he knew, stopped to do his business. Y'all hunted him down, and y'all killed him. That's my observations from being on the ground, walking the crime scene, interacting with the neighbors, standing where he was. I walked the route. Okay? I walked 2 routes, Chuck. I walked the route that they want us to believe, where he couldn't have ended up where he was. And then I went back and I cut through a yard. And I ended up exactly where he was.
Right.
I'm going to stop right there and let you continue, my brother. I just want to give you that. That's my visual. They're not telling y'all the truth.
Right.
They're not telling everybody. You have to see the place. And even when we went to leave, it was time, we couldn't just turn around and pull out.
Yeah.
We had to drive through these streets in the neighborhood and turn, and, we like, okay, everybody make that right. And then the police were right there waiting.
Right.
They didn't stop us.
Right.
Right at the entrance, like, just make sure you leave, because remember, these are retired old folks.
Yeah.
Retired prosecutors, retired teachers, they on the phone. I'm a taxpayer. I paid my money. Y'all supposed to fix this. I want them out of here. Well, man, when they leave, they'll be gone. But somebody got on the phone and told the police, do not engage these people.
Yeah.
They're not from here. We can tell.
Yeah.
They don't even carry themselves like the good folks here do. If they say in Rose, we got good Negroes over here.
Yeah.
We not the good Negroes. Yeah. Okay? So the best way is just let them leave.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. So that's what I wanted to talk about first. The second piece that you alluded to was the message that we were trying to send out. And the message is very, very simple. We tried marching with you. We tried singing with you. We tried voting with you. We tried talking to you. We talked round tables. We done sat down and had coalitions. We drawn up endless, useless resolutions. We propositioned 10 points to the president that never went nowhere. We've asked for the creation of a Department of Justice, department that handles race-related shootings. Never happened. So guess what? You all wanted to make America great again. The America that you're trying to recreate is the America of the 60s and the 50s. And we're still trying to live in the America of the 20s. Well, since y'all don't want the scene to act like you're in the 20s, 2020, we're going to act like we're in the 60s too. We're going to take it back to what our people used to do. You see, some of y'all are trying to be MLK. And we look like Malcolm. But y'all keep forgetting what MLK said. White people always want to throw up in your face the I have a dream speech, as if that was the pinnacle of MLK's his work. But in 1968, he went on NBC and said, I feel that my dream has become a nightmare and that we have integrated into a burning house. And they killed him for that because he started to wake up. He realized we didn't just need equal rights as human beings. We needed financial equality. We needed a place to establish ourselves and get ourselves together. They don't want that. They said, no, come on, be a part of us. Join up with us. Yeah, it's okay for y'all to say y'all want us to be on y'all team because it's your team.
Right.
I don't want to be on your team. I want to be a free agent. Start my own team. No, we don't allow that. So therefore, our message is, since we have reached a time and a place in our history where you all are showing us that history is repeating itself, and even the leadership is setting an example that it's okay to be a bigot, to be a racist, and now to start treating African Americans and people of color. And let me pause for a second. I do not endorse the term people of color because it's a one-size-fits-all. When we're a special group. People of color is the yellow man, the red man. No. The black man has his own situation, so please don't include us in people of color, because that means that anytime we get some, everybody else get it too. We can't never get none to ourselves. So therefore, the message that we're sending is that we still want to pursue those other avenues, but that's not what my people about. That's what y'all people about. Y'all want to keep working with them? Fine. But let me remind you, there used to be a time when crimes would be committed. A black person will get accused. The black person will get arrested. The black person will go to jail. The word would get out to the white community what happened. They already made up their mind. They judge, jury, and executioner. They're going to come to the jail, come in the jail, take you out of the jail, take you outside, kill you, and then make a spectacle of it, and everybody go home.
Yeah.
Let us do the same thing, and all of a sudden, it's a subversive act against the United States. It's a terrorist act. Well, y'all didn't say that when them boys went up there to the Michigan State House. Y'all didn't say that when people was in the streets with guns. So guess what? If y'all can do it, we can do it too. When people hear about the in-fact, the not fucking around coalition, that's exactly what we are.
Yeah.
Okay? So all that other shit, y'all can have that. Our message is very simple. We're done.
Yeah.
We're done with y'all. Point blank. We're not trying to start nothing. We're responding to what is happening to us. That boy getting shot down in the street. They beating a 14-year-old kid, a grown-ass man beating a kid on the ground. They letting people out for social distancing, but they head cracking. You know, they shot the boy in Indianapolis 17 times. Laquan McDonald shot down till the gun was empty. How much y'all expect us to take?
Yeah.
Malcolm said, be courteous and kind.
Yeah.
When they put their hands on you, you send them to the hospital or the morgue because they don't understand any other language. And with all due respect, don't mean to be long-winded, but I will say this. I commend the Gwynn Sheriff's Department, the Georgia State Patrol, because they responded to that language appropriately.
Yeah.
They saw that we were going to meet them with just as much force, as professional as you trained us to be, as you are. You all trying to be the military. We are all military. You are trying to emulate military tactics. We eat, sleep, and breathe military tactics. It doesn't mean we still don't need our teachers, our philosophers, our journalists like you. But it means we got to have our own military side to come back. And there's got to be a deterrent. You cannot stop bullets with a sign.
True. You know, man, I'm speechless. Let me ask you, there's a lot to be said, but what would you say is next? If there's next in quotes, you don't have to obviously say, you know, everything, but how long is this sustainable? You know, and there's also a legal process on the other side that does at this point involve lawyers. They're still in jail, I'm assuming, correct?
Yeah, let me speak to that. And it's funny, I'm glad you said that because you just set it up. I'm gonna knock it down. When this whole thing was coming to light, as more and more layers was peeled back, and the brothers hadn't even been arrested, and everybody was so shocked by that. You know, you still saw that same old tap dance on the specifics of with the law and the technicalities, and the boys still at home watching TV. They still on self-imposed quarantine. You know, they out there doing that. Meanwhile, this girl, her son is in the ground, okay? And she's dealing with this, and nobody has said anything. No one has done anything. But when it became a national issue, of course, they said, you're going to get the usual suspects, okay? You're going to get your Al Sharptons. You're going to get all what I call your cheerleaders. You're going to get your fake rage on the internet. You're going to get all of that. And they really didn't even respond to that because they've been told by their compadres in other cities, that's what they're going to do. But that's about it. Don't worry about it. We got this. But when we announced that we were coming, within 2 hours, they went and got them. They were locked up 2 hours after we made that announcement that we were coming down there, and we wasn't coming to talk.
Right.
Y'all don't want to do nothing about it? We're coming in your backyard. 2 hours later, and see, I'm going to give you the other side of it. People say, oh, well, they arrested them. No, they didn't. When you're a retired police officer, you know everybody. When you're the former prosecutor, you know everybody. Everybody in that office got their job under you. They gave you a retirement party, balloons and shit. You that dude. You got a picture on the wall. You're legendary. That's why the deeper they dig into this story, the more you find out that, well, why didn't they arrest the boys? Well, because Jackie Johnson, who used to be, called down and said, nah. Why? Because she got a personal phone call from one of the Michaels that we done killed this boy, you know, da. So they pulled the right strings, okay? Because they never thought this would come to this much light, okay? However, once it did get that much attention, there's no honor amongst thieves. They started ratting each other out, left and right, okay? You got the bro who filmed it. They said, oh, you going to charge me? Oh, well, if you're going to charge me, how about when you was under investigation and they made a recommendation 3 months ago that the police department should be disbanded because we so corrupt? Oh, you going to bring that up? Yeah, so I'm going to jail. all of that started. They started knifing each other in the back.
Mm-hmm.
I told you, even while we was in the neighborhood, the neighbor came out and ratted them out for being in the KKK.
Right.
Think about it. You went and told a bunch of bros with machine guns that we was in the KKK. Well, yeah, because you get it. No honor amongst motherfucking thieves, Chuck.
Yeah.
So when it all came out, and they knew we were coming, and we told people, don't fall for the theatrics. They let them know. And we found out they knew they were going to be arrested before they got arrested. They gave them time to get their stuff together, get their affairs in order. And if you look at the video of them being arrested, the guys around them that have guns are not looking at them. They're looking around to make sure nobody can stop them from taking them into the best place where they could be, protective custody.
Right. People
ask us, was there ever any intent to do harm to them? And my answer is always what Malcolm said. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Whatever you do to me, I'm going to do to you. You can interpret that any way you want. You shot this boy according to you while he was running down the street. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to recreate that situation and shoot me, because I'm going to run down your street.
Yeah.
The only difference is I can shoot back.
Right.
I'm going to give y'all that opportunity. But they put them boys in PC.
Yep.
They put them in protective custody. They sitting back now, kicking back, drinking coffee, looking at TV, watching the whole thing go down.
Yeah.
Okay? They put them in the safest place they could be. Now, you asked me about bail. We, too, asked that question. Did they give them bail? They're not going to get them bail because it got so big now, they don't went in there and told them, y'all want to stay alive?
Right.
Y'all sit your ass right here.
Right.
Why? And I'm going to tell you why, because I know for a fact that by yesterday evening, somebody went down there and told them boys just like this, hey, let me talk to you, man. What's up? Hey, bro, them boys came to your house. What do you mean they came to my house? They came to your house, son. You mean like came to, no, bro, they was at your door. They was looking in the windows. They was around the back. They was looking at your truck, bro. You can't go home now.
Yeah.
Why? Because if we send you home, we can't be there 24/7, bro. Okay? So you need to sit your ass right here.
Right.
Same thing for the brother who shot the video. Went to your house too.
Yeah.
Okay? No, you might not be getting charged, but we know where you live now. We know you got family. Okay? We live in the computer age. We know everything about you. The same way you know everything about us. But really, you don't know a whole lot.
Yeah.
But we know about you.
Now
so they're not going to get bail. They're not going to get bail. For their own safety. They're not going to get bail.
Now, he was cocking a gun in that video. Am I correct? Is that what we heard in the video that he was taping?
I'm going to be honest with you. I've listened to the video over and over again. As you all know, I am an avid gun collector. I am a gun proponent. And of course, I'm legally authorized to hold all different classes of weapons. That's why you see me with all these different grades of weapons. I listened to the video several times. That could be interpreted a number of ways. I think that folks are mistaking the sound in the car of a gun cocking. But if that was a gun cocking, I mean, he had an old ass 38, you know, with the old click. Don't nobody roll like that no more, especially law enforcement. They got the 9s and the Glocks and the E40s. You know, no, you ain't gonna hear no. You can't record with your phone and cock the joint.
Right.
If you thinking of the old Wild Wild West where you got the 6-shooter, you remember every movie they was like, do it.
Yeah.
And then they go click. I mean it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No. Stop adding to the story, y'all.
Yeah.
He has a hard enough time trying to explain, number one, how he got there.
Right.
In the position that he was.
Right.
He's got to explain that. Number two, he's also got to explain, why were you recording to start with? And then you sat on the tape for so long. Well, here comes some more doo-doo in the game, Chuck. We come to find out he didn't sit on that tape. See, this is the rat you out piece. Oh, y'all want to charge me and lock me up? I gave y'all the tape the day it happened.
Right.
So I'm going down.
Yeah.
Y'all going down too, because y'all sat on this. You didn't got to wait for a grand jury to convene when you had the tape for 2 months.
Right.
You had grand juries.
Yeah.
No, we're not buying it. As far as but let's go back to what I talked about, gator hunting. He didn't have to cock the gun. He got one. Yeah. If the brother had ran it toward him, I'm pretty sure he wasn't going to run him over with his car.
Right.
There's no joy in that. Okay. You got to save me one. So I didn't hear that. I listened to it several times. And not only that, when I walk the street of where the shooting happened, if you notice in the video, he's driving, but his phone is moving around. Like he's having a difficult time trying to control what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm thinking, when I look at the street curves like that.
Yeah.
So if he's coming around the corner, trying to get straight, and he see what's going on, and he's trying to take, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
Do I believe he cocked the gun? I can neither say yes or no because I wasn't there.
Right.
Until they run some type of audio forensics on that particular recording and eliminate certain sounds, and then compare that audio structure to the sound. You do music, you know what I'm talking about, to the sound of a gun.
Yep.
Then we really don't know.
Yeah.
And not only that, we're talking about a crime that happened 2 months ago, so there's no crime evidence. They didn't do a crime scene.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, from what I found out, some of them left the crime scene and came back. Right. They went home to get. When the police came, we got a list of every officer that was out there.
Yeah.
There was about 8, 9 of them out there. They didn't think of it as a crime scene.
Right.
Matter of fact, y'all said that he was stealing something. He didn't have none on him. He didn't have a gun. If it was a house under construction, he didn't have copper pipes. He didn't have a brand new door. He wasn't running down the street with a flat screen.
Right.
He hadn't done nothing. Maybe he took a piss, okay? Who knows? I don't know. Took a shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the bottom line was, bro, you wasn't there by accident.
Yeah.
If you had a gun, we don't know because there's nothing in the report that says what you had.
Yeah. Right. What are your thoughts on the leadership or lack of that we have, and are you filling that role in your view?
Okay, so there's a book by William Cooper. As a matter of fact, I've got it here in the library. Hold on a second. I don't want to. This close. The book is by Juan Williams. If you've never read this book, the name of the book is Enough.
Okay.
Phony leaders, dead-end movements, and culture of failure that are undermining Black America and what we can do about it.
Okay.
If you haven't read this book talks about what we call puppet leaders in the community. It talks about people that they roll out whenever there's a fire, who can put a face. In case the black folks get upset, let's have a black person on standby that can come out and say, hey, people need to know their history. I'm going to do this really quick.
Okay.
This is nothing new. Before the Portuguese slave trade victimized us in Africa, the Europeans and the Greeks used to do this, were very good at coming to an enemy's place, kidnapping some of the women, taking them back to their home, impregnating them, and raising children that look like us but have the mentality of the enemy, and then inserting those people back into our society. So when they showed up asking for something that we probably would have said no, there's always some bruh, and he's already got himself in a position of power where they have to listen to him, and we look stupid arguing with him because he looked like us.
Yeah.
Maya Angelou said it best: everybody in my skin ain't my kin.
Right.
And everybody that look like me ain't my friend.
Right.
So, as far as the leaders that I see today, and, like I said before, this is going to hurt. What I'm going to say is going to hurt. But I'm facts over feelings. If you got problems with your feelings, get help. We're dealing in facts over here. The fact of the matter is, those individuals who want to step up and call themselves leaders are ineffectual. Those folks who call themselves leaders do not represent the interests of the people. Those folks that call themselves leaders are still trying to integrate into a situation where we are continually losing financially, politically, and now physically. And then every time something happens, they keep justifying the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over again, expecting a different result.
Right.
So, as far as leaders, we don't have none.
Yeah.
As far as we're concerned, because leaders can do two things. Number one, they can speak to power with consequences. Number two, they can also marshal their people that stand behind that decision. That's what the leader does. Second, they can also build relationships with other like-minded leaders who probably ain't got nothing to do with it, but they're going to back you up. I'll give you an example. If something happens to a China person from China in the United States, China got a problem with it.
Yeah.
Okay? If something happens to someone from Latin America, they got a problem. There's a country that's going to speak up. Yet of the 56 countries on the continent of Africa, if something happens to Chuck Creekmore right now for going to the 7-Eleven to get a mask, you should have been out there. You should have been social distancing. But you went anyway because you need to get something. If something happens to you, no one speaks for you.
Yeah.
No country is going to be in an uproar where the United States feel like we got to fix this.
Right.
It doesn't happen. Your leaders have to have that open line of communication.
Yeah.
Okay? So therefore, when people ask me, what are you doing? Well, let me go ahead and be clear with you. Yeah. When the BLM movement first started, I jumped out in front of that. But that movement got hijacked by the LGBT community. Okay? That's a whole nother discussion for another time. So you lost a lot of the real brothers. Who you choose to sleep with, that's your preference. We're not getting into that. But what we're fighting for is the right to be treated equally as a human being, which we can't change.
Right.
All right? So we split. Then, of course, you know, I ran for the presidency because I figured that's the way to go. I can issue executive orders and get all this shit done, because I believed in the kumbaya. I was like Martin Luther King. I was all caught up in the euphoric moment, thinking that we had arrived and maybe we could make these things work. But somehow I went from 63 to 68 because now people look at me as a revolutionary. They look at me as like, well, he's definitely against. No, I came to realize that after 400 years, we are not advancing as a civilization. Our numbers are decreasing as a civilization. Our financial worth is decreasing I'm talking about black folks as a civilization. And the continued invasion, rape, and exploitation of Africa itself is now being picked up. It done went from the white folks raping Africa to a gangbang now. Chinese done got in on it. The French slide over, turn it over. Everybody, the Indians done got in on it. So we're even losing our base.
Yeah.
If we had to fall back to something. So if me standing up and organizing people and pointing out these indifferences and asking us to unify. See, I know we're not perfect, Chuck. Yeah. We got problems in our own house, bruh. I did a matter of fact in her book, Policing the Black Man. Angela Davis talks about the 4 reasons why we kill each other. Pride, self-hatred, insults, all these little petty things, they're all rooted in slavery.
Right.
The mentalities we brought forward from slavery. Yeah, we know we got some stuff in our house we got to clean up. So every time somebody say, well, before you start talking about them killing that boy down there in Georgia, what about black on black crime? This is not about black on black crime.
Right.
This is about what you're not going to do to us as a people. We're going to fix our own stuff in the house.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But you can't use, because my daddy's a drunk, is a reason why you can abuse my sister at the bus stop. Right. You are not in our family. Okay? So if me standing up trying to get our people to work on ourselves internally, defend ourselves externally, build ourselves internally, so that we can go from being a group of people who have very high personal esteem, but very low racial esteem.
Right.
Okay? I can't do nothing to the brother right here. He'll hit me in the mouth because he's proud of who he is. But if someone does something to us as a people, the people don't stand up.
Yeah.
So we stood up.
Right.
We're showing you what esteem looks like. When you're proud of your race, when you're proud of, well, yeah, we might not be perfect, but that's okay. We're proud of who we are. Yeah. And you're not going to do nothing to us. Right. If I got to lead that, I'll lead that. You understand what I'm saying? If I have to die for that, I'll die for that. You see, that's the difference. I can only chant so much, march so much, and ask so much. Yeah. Just like Malcolm said, no revolution has ever occurred without there being some bloodshed. Yeah, right. Okay? Yeah. Our problem is we don't want to bleed. Yeah. But then you got a group that's willing to bleed. Yep. And they see that. Yeah. Now, as far as national leadership, I don't know if you've been tracking me, but I've established alliances around the globe now. I can do calls for action in other countries, and those folks will respond. But the folks here in the States, the folks here in the United States, you see, we've become so Americanized. And so we've become so much of an independent. We've lost the idea and the concept of being a cohesive unit. Right. Okay? Yep. We're the only ones who don't practice group economics. We're the only ones that don't police our own. We're the only ones that don't give a damn about rebuilding the family structure. We're the only ones who really don't want to in-home school our people, our own culture. Not the ones from 1619 to now, but the 25 dynasties in Egypt. Okay? Teaching that this is more than just artwork. You have to understand what has been done to us over history. Then you got something to be proud of. Then you can have some racial esteem. Now we can start looking at having some sovereignty. It's not about all of us trying to integrate here. Maybe we can, and maybe we all need to leave. Yeah. We've grown too comfortable in our captivity. So while y'all been busy trying to run around behind Martin Luther King, I am the spirit of Shaka Zulu. I am the spirit of Hannibal. I am the spirit of Yamara. I am the spirit of Yahweh. I am the tip of the spear.
Yeah.
And at some point, I hate to say this, like they found out in Haiti, all of y'all can't go.
Yeah.
What that means is this: some of y'all are so enamored, so brainwashed into this system, you're going to become our enemy too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I hope I answered your question, my brother.
Pardon?
I said I hope I answered your question.
You answered my question and then some. Well, I'm gonna stop the interview now, and I want to try, if we can, to talk again, if that's possible, in an interview form, but also off record as well, and just chop it up.
Okay.
But I appreciate your time because you are very necessary, and we have to do things different to get things moving again.
Let me lead you with this, Chuck. I find it commendable when I see things in the news about, for instance, Jay-Z wrote a letter. Okay. I thought it was commendable that T.I. and those guys went down to the courthouse. Good. And I find it admirable that folks still want to express their rage on social media. But folks, if that's all you do, they're going to look at you and say, see what I told you? That's all they're going to do. Mm-hmm. We've added another layer to it. Mm-hmm. You can expect to see us in your city soon. We ain't just going to keep sitting back doing, we're not telling y'all don't do what y'all do. That's cute.
Yeah.
But we're not about cute. Yeah. We're the NFAC, not fucking around coalition. Peace and blessings, my brother.
Peace.